is fire.
What's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream, man. I feel like I only done a stream about 20 minutes ago, but it actually wasn't. It was early this morning, innit? So I am chilling. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Smash these likes up as soon as you get in the chat, man. Smash the likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. But yeah, smash the like as soon as you get in there. Whack it. Massively helps support the channel, man. Helps to boost the algorithm and all that kind of shit. Make sure you guys are following DAPS' new channel. It's been going a couple of months now, doing really well. We had a South stand that is linked in the description, so get yourselves on that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to that channel as well, man.
How many subs are you on now, by the way, bro?
Just gone over 30k now, yeah.
Mad. In how long? What, a year and a half?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, about 20 months, something like that.
Yeah, that's mad, bro.
I started in August 2023. Yeah, that's when I went full time on this channel.
Oh.
So yeah,
Flying. You know what it shows? It shows what fucking hard work and consistency does, innit?
Yeah, but you know what it is, yeah, with YouTube is is sometimes it feels like a proper like grind.
Yeah.
Not in terms of doing the shows, right? But like sometimes you'll look at your numbers, yeah. You look at subscribers and that, and you're like, that's not fucking moved for about a week, 2 weeks. You're like, what's going on here? And then it'll just go rapid all of a sudden. It's weird.
Do you know what me and Cass always like? Because at the moment it feels like we're going mad slow at the moment. Yeah, it sometimes feels like it. Once you hit, like, say when you hit 10k, it feels like the next 5k goes mad quick. Yeah, it's almost like YouTube goes, yeah. You've hit that 10k mark. Now we're going to push you out to more people. We're going to get these algorithms cooking for you. But then the last couple of thousand before you get to the next 20, it's like they want to see you graft again before they give you that next gateway. It is mad, though, the way it goes up and down. But, bro, real talk, you know, you've taken that hard work that you've always put in, yeah? And you've just fucking done it for yourself now. So did you – I was talking the other day, right? I went for an eye test to get my actual glasses sorted now that I'm doing YouTube full time to read the comments and whatever. And basically they told me my right eye, they can't even, there's no point in them trying to give me a lens that's going to help it. It's fucked, right? So I was saying I might just become that City fan with one eye and just have a patch, right? And then someone said to me, you can't do that because LB will think you're coming for him because he used to have a channel called something to do with that. Did you?
Oh my god! Yeah, that's it. As if who said that? That's a proper OG.
It might have been Martin, maybe.
Yeah. So I used to have my original podcast was called The City Eye.
Right. Yeah, and that's what he said. He said, "Nah, LB will be like, nah, hold on a minute."
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that was like bloody hell. I just started that. Well, me and Jordan started it. That was back in 2017.
Fucking hell.
So I've been on this game a long time.
Bro, that's 2017. Fucking hell. That was 3 years before COVID.
So I did a podcast, 3 years, and that's what I did. Podcast for 3 years, right?
See,
Sound only.
it's
Didn't earn
funny.
no money for it. Just did it out of love. You know what I mean? Just did it as a love type thing. Didn't make no money. Didn't want to make more money. Just chatting shit about City. I did that for 3 years. The only reason I come onto YouTube was because as soon as COVID hit and I stopped going to the games because of COVID, people messaging us saying, "Oh, why don't you go on YouTube because we can't go to the games?" Like, So we thought, all right, fuck it, we'll go on YouTube then. And then we started doing YouTube videos and shit, and then it all just went bonkers.
Yeah, so I set up my man cave, to do for COVID, pretty much. I always had a man cave, but it used to just be literally like a sofa in there, my deck set up in there, and just mates would come over and we'd just get smashed, right? But then for COVID, I thought, right, I need to make this a bit nicer, need to work from here now, so set it up. And then I always wanted to I was going to do a UFC and boxing podcast. And then Ty said to me, why don't we do a football one? I'm a United fan, you're a City fan. And same with me. I never thought it would end up earning money or nothing. It was just one of them things like, yeah, cool. If you want to do it, just through COVID.
Where are you now then? Are you in your man cave?
Nah. So my man cave turned into Cass's bedroom. Like completely, when me and my ex got divorced, I had to move everything in the house because obviously when I have my daughter, I have to be in the house too, especially when she was younger. So I turned that into a bedroom, and then this is like an extension of the kitchen with bifold doors and everything, and we set it all up in here. So,
have you ever done like a behind the scenes thing?
Nah.
You should do that, man. You should do that and upload it to members or something.
Yeah. It's not a bad shout.
Because people, you know what's mad about it, right? And I get it. I do 100% get it. It's like people who watch us on a daily basis, because we'll get, you'll have the same on your channels, People watch us every day. Do you know what I mean? And there'll be some people that don't watch us every day. They watch us once every other day or every couple of days or whatever, or they tune in now and again. But you'll get people who watch it every single day, and they want to see what's behind. Now, people don't want to see mine. Mine's just a fucking room, and I don't have a background or anything. But like when you've obviously got like a bit of a setup going there. People like love that kind of shit, man. Like, see what's going on.
But do you know what? I was going to say to you, it's so mad, because like, when we met up for drinks and it was Jacob and I was trying. It's Steve. It was Steve.
Yeah, so it was out.
Yeah, it was Steve. Yeah, right. And like the way Steve was to me, like, oh, you didn't have to show me no love. I was like, bro, I'm just another City fan. Like, it's kind of like. It's mad sometimes how people view us as content creators. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you must get it a lot walking around Manchester and people you don't know come up to you like, what are you saying, LB? And it's like,
I know what you mean. It's it is weird, and I feel like I'm proper awkward. Right? Not awkward, I feel like a fraud.
Yeah. I hear what you mean.
Like people come up to me and like talk to me and like they're well nice to me, and I'm like, like what? I'm just a City fan, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like,
real talk, bro. And sometimes it's like they're like, it's weird, bro. At games, it's mad. The one I love at games more than anything is I like when, like, I remember in Istanbul, I was at the bar the night before the game on Nasfidal, and there was this guy. No lie, he must have been 85 minimum. I reckon he was probably about 90, 95. And he was looking at me for ages, proper. And he goes, sorry, but are you DAPS? And I go, yeah. And he goes, can I just say, he goes, I fucking love how much you love this club. And do you know why? And like, he goes, and I know sometimes, you might get a bit of stick because you haven't got the Manc accent. Yeah. But I can see you love our club. And the thing is, for it to come from an older, because I know my dad was an old school man. I know my dad saw me as a Southern son, right? He called me a Southern fairy. So to come from an older person, but I'm thinking, how do you watch YouTube? How the hell, like, bro, how do they, like, but yeah, man. Anyway, big news today, Kev.
Yeah, mate. I said this morning when I did the stream this morning, I said, to be honest with you, I think deep down, and I'm interested to hear what you say on this. I think deep down, DAPS, I think we all knew this was coming. I think maybe we've been having these debates about, is he going to stay? Is Pep going to want him to stay? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is ADB going to accept a sort of reduced role next year? I think deep down, if we're being honest with ourselves, I think we all knew this was going to happen. And what I will say is I'm quite surprised it's dropped now. I thought it was going to happen towards the end of the season. You know,
I like that they dropped it now. Well,
so do I. So do I.
I do, but I don't.
I know it's happening.
I do, but I don't. Right. So when it came out, yeah, I felt right. So I've been an advocate for he must go this summer. Yeah, like when I've been having conversations with people about which players should go. Love that. I'm just going by me. Listen, I struggle to find my camera on my phone now. I'm not gonna lie. When someone goes to take a picture, it takes me about 20 seconds to find my camera. But yeah, so with it, I felt a bit like I've been saying Kev should be the first one out of the door, right? This summer. And it's not just down to performances, it's more down to I don't want his legacy to be ruined, like I've seen.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Bro, and
Walker a little bit.
Yeah. And if I'm being real with you, I was thinking this earlier on while I was walking around the city centre, right? With players, and I don't know the numbers at all, but with players, people love to talk numbers, right? And with De Bruyne is a player that we've always been able to talk numbers. We can talk goals, we can talk assists. If we're looking at Kev this season, and we know that Kev's played a lot of games this season, to be fair, right? His numbers aren't great this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
De Bruyne, no, I don't think so.
Right. But with any other player, we'd be talking about that. But because of De Bruyne, rightfully so, we wouldn't talk about that. But the whole thing is, I wanted him to go because I don't want to see Kev sat on the bench. I don't want to see the Kev I've seen this season, right? But then I started feeling like a bastard that I've been pushing that agenda. And now that it's actually, I've read his letter and he's actually leaving, I feel like, oh, why have I been
No, because at the end of the day, right, you only saying what you know, and I've heard you say that, yeah, and you've not been like...
I'm always respectful with it. I'll never do that. But,
of course,
but now that, you know, when you ask for something, you ask for it, then when you get it and you're like, do I really want that? But my worry now, right, is I'm glad that they've announced it because it now means that, you know, we can enjoy Kev for the last... I think it secures that there won't be any slander on Kev for the rest of this season. Like no one now will be slandering him, yeah? The other way it could go, though, is does this mean that Kev must play every single game now?
Nah.
Please, no.
I don't have to play every single game, but I think he starts on Sunday. He'll start against Forest in the FA Cup semi-final, and if we get to the final, we start against. He'll start.
He'll captain the final, won't he? And he should do. We have to win that. We have to win that trophy for him now.
I said that this morning. You know what? Would be amazing. Yeah, imagine if we won the FA Cup. Yeah, De Bruyne, his last ever game for City, lifted the FA Cup, and Rodri was next to him because Rodri.
Oh, mate, it's a bit like Vinny. Vinny's last ever game, we won the FA Cup against Watford, didn't we?
Was that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah. Then he did the speech afterwards. Then he announced it the next morning. But no, I'm glad that he's announced it because it means we can give him a proper send off because that's something that some of our players maybe haven't got the send off that they deserved. So we can give. But for me, the send off must be the FA Cup. And if this can't,
agreed. Yeah.
Remember when Walker did that speech before the Champions League final where he said, even though he wasn't playing, but he said, "I've been here before." And we didn't win it. So I want you all to go out there and win this for me. It's even more so with De Bruyne. We have to win that for him. And I presume he'll probably play in the Club World Cup for us as well, actually, won't he?
Well, Pep done his press conference. I don't know if you've seen it. Pep done his press conference today. And he said, that's not been agreed yet. Because the thing is, whoever he's going to, they're not going to want him playing in that Club World Cup. So I don't know if he's going to play in that.
Do you know what, as well? If we're being real, for him to go out in an FA Cup final on home turf, as in England, lifting a trophy, and I would expect that if we do get Wirtz, which I'm fucking praying and hoping we do, that we would aim to get him through the door early in the transfer window, and he would be our marquee person to take to the Club World Cup.
I'm pretty confident we get him. Because obviously, like, you go to a lot of the games, home and away. You're obviously big. You're really close with Steve. Do you get any like ITK information or anything, or you pretty out?
Do you know what the thing is? At one point, I was getting some, but now Nah, bro. Like it's
Nothing now.
nah. Nah. Because at the moment, Steve's not really doing much for the club, and he's speaking quite openly about the issues at the club as well. So, and some of I don't want to go too much into it, but yeah, at the moment, not really, bro. To be honest with you, I don't know. All I'm going with on the Wirtz thing is that it seems like, whereas at first it seemed like he wasn't that keen on City.
Yeah.
From what we're seeing, and this is what I don't know. I think I was with you. I think the day that it came out that Wirtz actually seems quite keen on the City thing. Yeah, it was. It's when we were out for drinks, but it feels to me, and I said this a couple of months ago, that we need Wirtz. Like for me personally, especially with De Bruyne going and where we are right now, we need Wirtz. This is not like
Agreed.
some of the other signings we need. We really fucking need him, right? And when we really want a player, we go all out. And the fact that Wirtz maybe at first wasn't really too keen on City and now seems to be swinging that way suggests to me that City are doing what I think De Bruyne described it before. When City came knocking, the knock was different, because they're saying, yeah, we want you to come over here. Do you need a jet? Like, do you need to find you a house? Do you need, like, whatever you need, we will do whatever. And I think we're probably going through that stage already. I think we've probably been doing that for a good couple of months, like saying, like basically making Wirtz feel like if you come, we want you. I know Real Madrid might want you, but we really fucking want you. Like, if you come here, you're going to be the poster boy. Like, you ain't got Vinicius, you ain't got Mbappe. This is about Wirtz. And I think City will be really going all out on him, because we have to, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you. If we don't, you watch more European football than me, but I'm struggling to see like who we bring in that can make it's
tricky. It is really, really tricky, because for me, you've got Musiala, who's just signed a new contract. He's got a release clause, but I'm pretty sure that's only active next summer. Wirtz is obviously available this summer. He's only got 2 years left of his contract. You've got players like Xavi Simons, who some people rate, some people don't rate.
I can't even put up with his face. He always looks unhappy.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then
he looks so angry 24/7. That guy.
Yeah, after that, bro, it's like it's not looking good.
Bro,
if
Xavi Simons would be the second option to Wirtz, the difference is huge, man.
You know who we would send if you can't get Wirtz? You know who we would send?
Who?
Cole Palmer.
Yeah, he ain't coming back, bro.
That's my target. That's who I'd go for if you can't get Wirtz.
I mean, I've got mates that are mates with Cole Palmer, and they tell me, like, they say to me, there's more chance of him joining United than there is him coming back to City.
Yeah.
So,
I think the whole way that was handled, I think, was not great. But yeah, Wirtz for me has to be the one. And a lot of people know Daz on Twitter, DSK. I'm sure he won't be mine. He's put it on his open account, but he's saying that it's City and Bayern Munich are going head to head this summer for Wirtz. And
I guess the thing we have in our favour there is that Leverkusen would favour a sale to us.
Leverkusen are going to make it as difficult as possible for him to go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah. 100%.
They're going to be pushing him to City, saying go City. Because unfortunately, Leverkusen have got themselves, well, not unfortunately, it's their problem, not ours. They've got themselves into the situation where they're going to have to sell him this summer, because if they don't, they're in the danger, because next year he'd have 1 year left of his contract. He just waits 1 more year, he goes on a free. So
they'll be pushing him to us so badly. Yeah.
I know Real Madrid have been linked with him a few times. I've not seen any strong links enough to Real Madrid.
The whole thing with Madrid, right, is based on everyone thinks that Alonso's going there, so they think, it would make sense to Wirtz to go there. But I'll keep saying this. I still think there's a good chance that Alonso might come to City, because everyone just presumes, right, that Alonso would have gone to Liverpool because it's his old club, or that Alonso would go to Real Madrid because it's his old club and he's got a romance there. But sometimes people, when you've had something so good somewhere, you don't want to risk. Like I've been told, Vinny has said he will not come to Manchester City until he's proven to himself that he's ready to come to City, because he would not want to ruin it.
Which he will do, DAPS, because he's a top manager, man.
Yeah, well, listen, I've said I want to see a couple of leagues and a very, very, very strong Champions League before.
He'll do that this year, mate. He'll beat Inter Milan, get to the semi-finals, 100%.
But that in his first season with a Bayern that aren't great. But the other thing is, so if you imagine, if you're Alonso, right?
Yeah.
And you're hearing that Real Madrid are in for you, and he would know, right? I was loved at Real Madrid. I've got a past at Real Madrid, but he'd also know that. But if I go there and I don't get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, I'm probably getting sacked, right?
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm a highly thought of manager.
Yeah.
They're the type of things that would make you go. Alternatively, you've got a City that would be right now saying to him, "Look, when Pep goes, if you come to City, we know we're going through a rebuild. We'll give you time like we've given Pep. We'll back you all the way. We'll give you everything you need." You'll also have Pep in his ear telling him, "Look, yeah, this is how they've treated me. There's a reason why when I left Bayern, I went to City and I've stayed there and renewed and renewed and renewed and renewed." So I don't think it's as clear cut that he goes to Real Madrid. I really don't.
Nah, and he's not done the best this year.
This year, no.
Alonso. He's really not. But yeah, I don't really see. You put that in the chat then about someone just put it then. I don't really see. Yeah, big up to Ryan, man. Make sure you subscribe to this guy's channel as well.
Yeah,
Wirtz
true.
doesn't fit in Madrid 2 Yeah, like, bro, I don't really see it, man. I personally think it's between us and Bayern Munich. And at the end of the day, we desperately need him more than Bayern Munich. Yeah. We just let our biggest earner, well, second biggest earner now, Kevin De Bruyne, go that he can literally walk straight into.
Yeah,
the
true.
team. And his current club are going to be pushing him to Manchester City, not Bayern Munich. So I think that the only way we don't get Wirtz is if Wirtz just really doesn't want to join us.
Yeah, I don't want England or something. But
England,
I don't know. I feel
City, whatever. Yeah,
I hear you, especially if it is between us and Bayern. Yeah, because I think Leverkusen will be so against selling him to them. But I saw someone put in the chat a minute ago, you can get good players, but it's about getting difference makers. That's spot on. That's the thing with Wirtz.
So what you're saying that Wirtz isn't a difference maker?
No, I'm saying he is. That's the key.
Right,
there's other good players out there, but there's not really many players that I look at and think, yeah, you come in and you make a big fucking difference. Whereas Wirtz, I think he comes in and he makes a difference. That's what we need. I believe in the club on this one. I do, really do.
What you think this is the right decision?
I think it's right decision to let De Bruyne go. 100%, bro, 1,000,000%. Because it's the right thing for De Bruyne to go as well. I think it will, like you said at the start. I think he always was going to go. Like we know how City are. City would not have all the interviews with Pep and what Pep was saying. I think the fact that De Bruyne has watched Gundogan, watched Walker this season and thought, yeah, I don't want to go out like that. Like it's just and the pay, and he knows deep down as well. Like it's a shame he didn't go last summer, to be honest with you, because last season when he came back from injury, we got glimpses of the old De Bruyne. But let's be real, once we started playing him every game or giving him a lot of game time, his form dropped off last season. Like he got subbed off against Arsenal and Liverpool in 2 important games because his legs are gone. Like,
I tell you something. Yeah, I think one thing that we've learned over the last 18 months is that letting players go at the right time is so important, not just for the team, it's important for the player as well and their legacy. Because
100%, bro.
If you look at this guy, that's this guy. This guy's legacy,
bro, spot on,
bro.
Yeah,
this guy's
perfect
legacy,
example.
He left, and I was fuming when he left. Yeah, because I didn't think he left at the right time. I sat there I was beefing people. This is a disgrace. I thought the fee was stupid, and I couldn't believe that we let him leave. Yeah. However, I can look at Mahrez there and go, fucking baller, and he never ended in a bad situation.
And this is a thing that if we go back, right? I mean, Zabaleta, maybe you could say Zabaleta's legs were starting to go before he left, but predominantly Zabaleta, he went at the right time. Vinny went at the right time. David Silva went at the right time. Aguero went at the right time. All of our legends. I mean, Fernandinho was a rare one that somehow that guy was just an absolute machine.
Oh,
but
he was a joker,
we've always let them go, and sometimes some there's been a bit of a backlash of we don't treat players right. We should keep them for longer and let them retire at your club.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. No, and Gundogan's a perfect example. We all got gassed when he came back, but he went at the right time. He went at the right time again.
Listen, I know. It's I hear it. For me, the player should stay. At the end of the day, this is a professional football club, yeah? It's a professional football club, yeah? Not just sound like League Gunner all the time, yeah, but it's a professional sport. You should keep the player for as long as they're good enough. And at the end of the day, we have seen, with Walker, that unfortunately we left that far too long. 2 seasons too long, if we're being honest. If we're being honest.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
We should have let him go, at the end of the treble year. And last year he was poor, very poor. And this year, I mean, it was awful. And at the end of the day, people are going to criticize him. And obviously people go overboard, get that. People abuse him. That's not right. But people have a right to say their thoughts on the performances. It's not North Korea. And the club let that go on too long. And, I get it. I just quickly, I do get it, Daps, because when you've got the best right back in world football, in Walker, when you've got the greatest City player of all time in Kevin De Bruyne, when you've got these players and you're like, these are the best of the best of the best of the best. I get the temptation. Yeah. The temptation 100% is to keep them and keep, but you've got to be ruthless.
I think that's the thing, right? The writing was on the wall with both of them, right? And you have to go by that. And by the way, just in case, because I know people will be, I sometimes get people saying, Daps, you need to call out Pep more. And it frustrates me because I will call Pep out. Both of those decisions are probably down to Pep. And Pep has shown too much faith and maybe loyalty in some of the older players. I think that's probably a reason as well why De Bruyne needs to go, because moving on to the derby this weekend, right? Actually, let me ask you moving on to the derby before I'll go back and ask you another question. We've seen recently some certain fringe players and some certain players have good games, right? But the fact that De Bruyne was rested, Bernardo was rested, Foden was rested on Wednesday makes me think the old guard are going to be brought in for the United game. And that's the risk when we've got these players there that Pep, I understand it. He thinks, right, when we've played X, Y, or Z in a big game, I've always been able to rely on these players. But this season, we've seen you can't anymore, right? And while they're here, he'll always go back to, I can rely on them. And
he will, yeah.
And so this brings me on to the derby. Let me ask you your opinion, because I feel like recently, the last 2 games, right, I've probably been watching different games for other people. Now, Bournemouth, I think the first half against Bournemouth, we were absolutely shocking, right?
See, I hear a lot of people say, I don't think we were shocking. I thought we was okay. I don't think we were that bad.
That's what most people, Nobbins, thought. Most people actually seem to think we were right in the first half. We were definitely better in the second half. But, bro, when I'm telling you, I thought we stank in the first half, and maybe it is a bit of PTSD and a bit of how nervous I get every time another team. But then against Leicester, and I know it was Leicester, I fucking loved that performance. I thought that performance was mint. And when people say, we should have beaten by more, I just think, that reminds me of the 2-0 against Man United a couple of seasons ago at Old Trafford, where it could have been more, but we just didn't want to, because we were just taking our time and controlling the game. I thought that game was we were very fluid and we were very controlled. At no point, whereas the Bournemouth game, I was nervous, right? And so many games this season, even at 2-0 up, I'm nervous, That Leicester game, at no point was I nervous. I thought, now we're controlling this game.
Okay, so let me speak on that. So Bournemouth, my opinion is that first half we were just a bit mid. But I don't think we were as bad as you're saying and some other people are saying. But I've heard a lot of people agree with you that we were shit in the first half. I don't think we was. I think we're just not great. Second half, I agree with you 100%. We were very good. Leicester completely controlled the game. Interesting to see Mamouche up top and how that clearly changed the way that we attack, the way that we played, the fluidity that he brings. And and 100% as well, his better relationship with Doku, because Doku and Haaland just do not connect. However, at the same time, all that being said, Leicester are terrible.
Yeah, they're really shit. I agree with you on that.
I had a guy come in my stream. Yeah, I did a watch along for it, DAPS. Yeah, a Leicester fan come in my stream before the game and said, "LB, you're going to smack us. This is the worst Leicester team since the 1970s."
Well, they're really bad. And the worst thing as well, when you're shit,
we controlled the game. And here's what I would say: 4 or 5 months ago, we would have done something stupid. We would have done something stupid and let them in, or that. You know what I mean?
Even if you go back to when we played Leicester between Christmas and New Year, yeah. At times we won that game, but at times during that game, it was a bit squeaky bum time, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I liked, right, about the game there's quite a lot I liked about the game on Wednesday, but if we start from the back, seeing Vardy and Diaz together at last as centre-backs, I fucking love.
Yeah, let me bring this up, actually, because Pep Guardiola spoke on that today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said something quite interesting. Let me bring it up on screen. Open with another app. Here we go. Right, so... because he's done his press con. Oh, wait a sec. This is. Sorry, man. 1 minute. I might be chatting shit here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, Gvardiol, my bad, has spoken about this. What do you think about these comments? What do you think this means? Here we go. So, Gvardiol said, "Do you think he's getting sick and tired of playing left back, chat?" This is what he said today. He says it's much easier to play centre back, but we've got no defenders. If I have to play as a fullback, I'll give my best to help the team. I remember before Guardiola wanted me to go in the pockets from the position of a fullback, which is okay. But when you lose the ball, the distance you need to cover means a lot of running. I'm a different kind of fullback. The way I'm built is different, but I'm giving my best. I'm doing all right. I think, shout out Briggsy as well. I think, by the way, you and fucking Briggsy on these away trips, man. Oh my days. Whenever yous are on an away trip, I'm addicted to my Instagram. I'm just refreshing it, waiting for your stories to come up, waiting for that story, and then you and Briggsy, man, you two are funny as fuck.
Oh, Briggsy's hilarious. Hold tight, Briggsy.
Yeah,
that comment there to me tells what I would take from that is that it's almost like he's had a taste of being back playing left centre back, and he thought. He thought, I feel so much more comfortable here. He probably also does feel like his body can take it better. Like, because he's right. You know what? He's right. His build is not suited to play fullback, right?
No,
his build is like, I mean, it's not as bad as Richards. It's not as bad as Reece James. But you see these guys that are top heavy, and you're having to run up and down the pitch. That's a lot of pressure on the rest of your leg. I've always said that I honestly believe that's why Richards and Reece James both suffered so badly from injuries, because they're having to, it's not like floating about the pitch. You're literally having to sprint back and forth. I think he's had a taste of playing at centre-back and thought, I feel comfortable here. Whereas he's done a good job at left-back, but he probably feels like, I don't feel comfortable here. And I know if I make a mistake, it's on me. Whereas centre-back, I feel far more comfortable with it. And I think we all do. Like we all wanted to see it. And the mad thing is as well, Nobbins pointed this out, Vardiol's left-footed, isn't he? Mm-hmm. So, like, we've seen Diaz and Stones cook when Diaz is playing on the wrong side, right? Yeah. So you put Diaz on the side where he's more comfortable, like with Vardiol next to him. I think it makes perfect sense. And if that means, like, so far O'Reilly's been good on the left, if that means, like, I hope we see O'Reilly against United, because I think if we don't, that probably means we're going to see Vardiol on the left. And at the moment, like, I know it's a small sample size, but the Vardiol-Diaz partnership works. And even against Leicester, that's one of the things where I think maybe why I felt so much more comfortable. I felt like their positioning was better. Vardiol and Diaz's positioning was better. They weren't floating too far up the pitch.
You know what? It looks like they could be a good partnership. And I think it looks like a normal fucking back line, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Gvardiol and Diaz. Like, I feel like sometimes, and obviously it's work because we've been so good, but sometimes I feel like, are we trying to overcomplicate things a little bit too much? Like, if you look at the treble year, that was just defenders in defensive positions.
Yeah.
Walker or Akanji, Stones, Diaz, Ake. And it was just, there was nothing complicated about that, other than the fact that you had, sometimes you had Ake left back, who's not really a left back, and then Akanji right back, who were two centre backs. Ultimately, what you had was four solid defenders in the four defensive positions.
The only times you really saw us divert from that as well would be at home in games that we would dominate the ball so much that we can. Yeah. Then you'd see Rico at right back, but that was because, well, we're at home against a team that's going to allow us to camp in their half, so it's perfectly fine to do that. Whereas this season, we've just been all over the gaff. The other thing that I really liked, actually, I'm going to give a shout out as well to Nico Gonzalez, because I didn't see too much of him, right? But that's a good thing for me. And if I'm going to give praise to Vardy and Diaz, I think probably they didn't have to do much, which means probably Nico was doing his job in the middle of the pitch. But what I loved the most was how fluid the front, let's say the front four were with Marmoush, Doku, and Savio. All three of them can pretty much switch at any point, right? They can all play in any of those roles. Then you had Grealish, who also can play in pretty much any of those roles. Yeah. But also drags players. So he was dragging players. Well, if you think you've got Doku, Marmoush and Savio, who people already have to watch the runs of, but then you've got Grealish dragging two defenders out of the way. It's giving Doku even more space down the left. And Gundo started hitting the box a bit more as well. And it all of a sudden felt like at last we've got runners again. Like we're making space and we're taking advantage of the space we're making. And of course, it's not prime fucking Centurion season, but it just felt like we had runners again. And I get some people said it was boring, but for me, that was not as boring as most of the football I've seen this season. Like,
and we won the game, man. Like, like at the end of the day, like that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Let me come to these chats, man. Got a couple of super chats here. Big shout out Herbal, sent this in earlier. I did put it up on screen. Big up LB, DAPS and chat. Get the likes up, lads. Yeah, shout out to you, man. 19 months as well. Appreciate the membership for 19 months, man. That's a long time in it. So big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to Fraud Daddy. Says, Hansi is the only one who's won a 6-2 put after Pep, and now he is on his way to win a quad in his first year in Spain. Hansi over Xavi any day. I think Hansi Flick, I think a lot of fans out there, not City fans, because obviously we're chilling, but like a lot of fans out there, like Arsenal fans who disrespected him, United fans, I think a lot of these fans have got egg on their face, man, because I seen, and I'm sure you saw it at the time as well, when these United fans, Arsenal fans, Liverpool, when Klopp was leaving, they was talking about Hansi Flick. And there was a lot of disrespect there, man. There was a lot of disrespect on Hansi Flick, and everyone just looked at what he did at Germany rather than what he's done at Bayern Munich. These guys are very, very good coach. Completely different.
Managing an international team and managing a club team are two completely different ball games. Like completely different.
No, absolutely.
But bro, you know what it is? Like, even I hear you with the Alonso thing, but like Liverpool fans straight away, they're going to go with the romance of Alonso. He loves us. He loves Liverpool. He wants to come back, and not even thinking about right. So you want Alonso based on one season, but then you're not willing to give Hansi Flick any sort of chat on what he's been doing. Like it's just mad.
So I think I might be falling into that trap, with Company, because I
think you might be. Yeah,
I'm right now. I want Company as the next Man City manager.
I don't.
In 2 years' time.
On
the basis, though, that's right. On the basis, he's got to win the Bundesliga this year and next year, and he's got to get to like deep.
Yeah. Well, that's the same for me. I think for me, like before he even went to Bayern, I've been saying from the absolute start, like he's my favorite City player of all time. I'm not saying he's the best. He's my favorite. Yeah. For the fact he was here just before the money and everything else, and our captain, just a legend. But after the Gundogan thing of Gundogan coming back, that's just confirmed to me, because I really try and stay out of romance with a lot of things, right? I've got a romance with the club. I don't want a romance with players, because then I feel once you get a romance with players, you start making stupid decisions.
So you're totally opposite to me.
And after the Gundo thing, Bo, I am like,
Yeah,
I've got to see, bro, I've
you're
got to see-
so opposite to me.
He's got
We
to
are
land on the
totally
moon
different, mate.
before.
I am
He's got-
the most football
Yeah.
romantic man out there, man. When Gundogan was coming back, bro, I was doing cartwheels and I fucking loved
And
it.
and that's what I'm saying. He was the one that sucked me in, yeah, and actually
Yeah.
made me think, oh, this is fucking beautiful. We're winning the league, all of that crap, yeah, bro. Like, if you think about it, this season, right, the romance of Gundo coming back, the romance of a second or third kit that throws us back to the Gillingham game, right? We've just been suckers for romance this season and completely forgot the simple things that we do as a football club. And that's not just us. I think like Khaldoon has done that. Like, I remember listening to Khaldoon's interview. I think the season we won the season we got 100 points, and he said we've learned from our previous mistakes where we've had, after winning the league, we've had poor transfer windows and then we've not retained it. So moving forward, we know if we win the league, the summer afterwards, we have to have just as strong a summer window. And then ultimately we didn't do that in the summer, and that's down to Pep and the board. So, and I think that's a good thing with us having a new sporting director this season.
Yeah.
I think
Fresh eyes.
I think Khaldoon would have said to him, right, like, and probably reassured him before he even joined us, look, you make the call. Pep Guardiola's the manager, but we assure you, Pep can't overrule you on things. Like, he probably would have said, look, I'm a bit nervous about this one because you've got a manager.
You can. What it will be is, I think Pep will guide the sporting directors and he will have his say, but ultimately, the sporting director has to decide what players they are. Otherwise, what's the point of the job role?
Yeah.
There's no point in having that job if he doesn't make the call.
And it's the proof is in the pudding. If you look at recent times, you look at Klopp when he had Edwards, worked perfectly. The minute Edwards went and Klopp decided to make all the decisions himself, their signings were shy, and Liverpool didn't really win much after Edwards left, right? They won the Champions League and the league while Edwards was there. Then you go back to Man United. Everyone goes on about Fergie. It wasn't just Fergie, it was David Gill next to him, right?
Yeah.
And David Gill went, right? You go to Arsenal. It was who was it? Was it David Dean? Was it Dean? David Dean at Arsenal. Again, he went. And sporting directors have to be allowed. And that's why, by the way, I think with Arsenal as well, I think Arsenal want to back Arteta. They're going to finish second. They're going to be going into the fourth season where they could finish second again next season. I think they want to back Arteta, but they've said, all right, we don't want to get rid of you, but we're bringing someone in that you don't have power over, right, to get control of the sporting decisions. Because a sporting director, getting the right one and letting them make the decisions. Because I think if Pep wasn't there, we probably would have gone big last summer.
Well, no, 100%. I don't know if I've told you this, right, but my theory, right, because we've heard Pep Guardiola come out. He said, so this is what happened, right? Pep come out in a press conference like 3 months ago and said that Tiki said to Pep, let's do the rebuild this summer, the summer that's just gone. And Pep said no. My theory is that I think, honestly, hand on my heart, I think Pep was going to leave at the end of this season.
I thought he was going to leave as well.
And the reason he declined the rebuild is because does he really want to be doing a rebuild with new players, getting them to learn new tactics, new systems, all that shit when he's leaving in the 12 months? I think he just thought to himself, nah, I don't want that. Keep the players.
Yeah.
I'll win the league and I'll leave. And he could do the rebuild with a new manager in the summer. Where we went wrong is, and I know this sounds mad and some people think it's crazy, but you just said it, you have to overrule the manager.
Yeah, you have
Otherwise, what's the point in the sporting director being there?
Yeah,
if there's no point. So I think low key, like not obviously I don't want this to happen, but I think this season in the long term is going to benefit us loads. Because the amount of stuff we've learned this season, DAPS, we've learned not to keep players too long. Yeah, we've learned that maybe giving players mad contracts when they're getting older is not great. We've learned that you've got to buy players and keep strengthening the team in the summer. We've learned maybe not to listen to the manager's opinions too much in the summer. Obviously, listen to them and maybe be influenced. But ultimately, if you're the sporting director and you think this is the correct decision, you make that decision. I think that whilst it's been a bad season, obviously there's loads of shit that's gone wrong. I think we're going to learn so much from what's happened, and that the next 10 years we should,
do you know what it is? It's something that I've always praised Khaldoon on is that he knows that if you get the right cogs in the machine and you allow the cogs to do the job that they are supposed to do, right? And people don't get involved in other people's jobs that they're not, then it works. And I think maybe that is slightly what we've done this season. I think you're spot on, and I wouldn't be surprised if, by the way, no, Khaldoon did do an interview last season. I think we'll probably hear Khaldoon talk on that a lot at the end of the season, saying we've learned so much from this season.
I guarantee you now, Khaldoon in his end of season interview, 100 million% will talk about mistakes and the fact they're going to learn from them.
Yeah,
because this is what these guys do.
Yeah,
because this is what I've said about these guys. Some people don't get it, like these guys, like Khaldoon, mate, the guy was sat with Trump a couple of weeks ago. He is at the top level of everything. City, football, sport is there. F1, it's there. UAE, fucking USA relationships is there. Everything is there. This guy makes mistakes all the time. Khaldoon will make mistakes. His team will make mistakes. Why they're elite, and why they are the best of the best of the best of the best is because once they make a mistake, they'll probably sit there for fucking 12 hours in a boardroom speaking about how they made that mistake. Every little detail. Why did we make that decision when it was wrong? What led us to make that decision? Why were we guided to make that decision? And then what they do is they put in plans, they put in shit, to make sure that never happens again. And actually, they don't, not just that not happen again, how can they improve going forward? How can they improve? And that's why they're at the top of the game, bro.
And that is it. And that's what, I mean, just in any walk of life, like any business, if there is a major incident, right, that's what you do, right? You get the major incident sorted, but then you put a plan in place to make sure, and you change your processes to make sure that doesn't happen again, right? And this is why, kind of since January, when we're talking about the fuck ups we've made this season, which we can do, and I think we're totally right, and we're allowed to as fans to talk about the fuck ups. This is why it frustrates me when people keep going on about, nope, the board last summer should have that's fine. I understand that. But whereas so many other boards I see make fuck ups, but then it takes them 2 years to start trying to change things, right? The fact that, let's be real, although we saw cracks, we didn't turn shit to what, mid-October, was it? That we started we went on nosedive, right?
It was Bournemouth away,
So, which was it was in October, I'm pretty certain it was. By the time it got to January, the board has come out and fucking made changes, right? And no matter what anyone says, and no matter how much rivals want to make out like you spent 170 million, 180 million, and what have you got to show for it? Right. Well, what we've got to show for it is before we spent that money, we were going on losing streaks like we've never seen before.
Every game we was losing, innit?
Right. Since we've spent that money, we have lost to Liverpool, who are above us, right, and winning the league. Arsenal, who are above us and are into the quarterfinals of the Champions League and currently better than us, right? We've lost to Forest, who are above us, and we've lost to Real Madrid. That's it, right? So since we've spent money, we've lost to 4 teams that we would acknowledge right now are better than us, right? We haven't been losing to the shit teams that we were losing to before. We are not losing games by 4-0. Like, we're not getting battered anymore. People aren't waltzing through our midfield no more, right? And by the way, we've still got fucking injuries. Still got bare injuries. Like, it's not like Rodri's back and we've got all of our centre-backs back. We've still got the same injuries. So actually, what we did in January, considering it was a month and a half's notice, was pretty fucking good, right? And now it's meant, right, we've dealt with a lot of the quick wins, I feel like, we got in January. We weren't going to get a player that was going to come in and be, like we said before, be a game changer. You can't get a game. It's very rare you get a game changer like that in the January transfer window. Very, very rare. Yeah, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So we couldn't deal with that. We tried to get Cambiasso, but again, that just seemed a bit too difficult to make happen. But I think we did well in January, in hindsight.
I think DAPS, if you want my honest opinion, I think when we got to January, I think the club were fully aware that we were out of the title race. I think they were fully aware, if I'm being honest with you, I think they're fully aware that no matter what they were going to do, We're not going to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
So they said, right, what do we need to get top 5? Yeah. And, because that for them is important. They need the money, because obviously the rebuild. And they went out there. And that's why I was so confident going into the January transfer window that they was going to sign quite a few players, because I knew it was that bad. And I think where rival fans, maybe, I don't know if they're being disingenuous or maybe they're just not fully aware because they don't watch every single City game, yeah? But where they maybe don't get it is when we talk about squad rebuilds, yeah, that gets thrown around like confetti these days, yeah? People talk about squad rebuild at Arsenal. They don't need a squad rebuild. They need 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
We legitimately need a squad rebuild. Yeah. Like, we've already signed 4 players, and I'm saying about signing 6 or 7 more. Yeah. That's basically a full 11.
100%, because like when you go through the team, there's a reason why. Like, we're looking, right, as an example, Jack Grealish. For me, we can't sell Jack Grealish. Like, at the moment, there's more pressing issues than getting rid of fucking Jack Grealish for me. And if anything, I think the club needs,
mate. I think he'll be gone.
Bro, I hear it, but I think for me, as an outsider looking in, and I don't know all the internals, and I know that Pep's had his issues with Jack and whatever, and I think that's why it's taken so long for Jack to be given a chance, because I think Pep was like, nah, not giving him no more fucking chances. He's had to really prove himself to Pep. But if I'm an outsider looking in, I'm looking at Grealish and going, do you know what? If we can fucking sort this out, sort out whatever the issues are with Grealish, the proof is in the pudding. He's still got a lot to offer, right? I'll be honest, Jack Grealish has more to offer this football club right now than Kevin De Bruyne does. A lot more, yeah? Just because he's younger, right? And he's still got legs. He can still drive with the ball. It's criminal that during our bad run, Jack Grealish was not, and maybe he wasn't fully fit, maybe his head wasn't in the right place, but even the fact we've tried to play Foden back into form, when we've got a player like Jack Grealish, that if we played him in an 8 or 10 role, the driving he can do with that ball will have... Bro, that bad run of form, if Grealish was on the pitch playing the way Grealish plays in an 8 or 10 role, not on the wing, we wouldn't have lost half of those games. We would not have. Because he would have just grabbed the ball and fucking ran with it and given the defense a fucking breathing space.
Yeah, I think with Grealish though, it's not even necessarily a quality issue. It's the fact that he's on 300 grand a week, and clearly something's going on. You know what
that's the point.
Yeah, he's on 300 grand a week, and I just think, Kevin goes, he's on 400 grand a week. Grealish goes, he's on 300 grand a week, and if Bernardo goes, I actually think Bernardo's probably going to stay, but if he was to go, that'd be £1 million a week.
Oh, and
wage bill.
The other one, if again, cult hero, I don't think he'll go because of the wage he's on, and I don't think anyone else will pay it. But if we're being honest now, like John Stones, if we can find a way to get John Stones' wage off the book, it's probably not a bad thing, because I think he's on about 250.
I reckon, yeah. I have a suspicion that we might go in for Braithwaite.
Yeah, I think but even then, Everton, I don't believe would be able to pay John Stones what John Stones would want.
Well, I
think he's about 31.
31.
But also with the injury record he has, it would probably have to be a deal where City pays some of his wage otherwise he's just going to stay and go on a free. That's the thing. He's probably, I'm pretty certain Stones is probably our highest paid defender.
Yeah, I think he is. I personally wouldn't get rid of Stones or Ake. I'd keep them both.
I'd keep Ake, definitely. I'd keep Ake.
I'll just add to it.
Do you think Akanji will go?
If we sign 2 right backs, yeah. If we sign just Cambiasso, I would keep Akanji. But if we sign Cambiasso and another right back, which is what I think we should do personally, then I don't see where Akanji's going to play, because he's going to be 3rd choice right back. Diaz is above him. Huzanov is above him. Gavardio's above him. Where's he going to be in the pecking order?
And you think from a PSR point of view, the fact we didn't pay that much for Akanji, we could probably make a bit of a profit on Akanji as well.
I think he's 29?
Yeah. We probably still got 2-3 years left on his contract, maybe 2 years.
I'd be surprised if you get less than 30 million for Akanji.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. Maybe 25, 30 million.
I think now
profit.
with,
He signed
with
for
what,
15.
yeah, it's straight profit. And what he's learned from playing at City under Pep, if he went to certain other leagues, he'd be an absolute ball playing. Like, I don't think he's good enough to do the John Stones role, personally, right? I don't think he's good enough on the ball. But in other leagues, he probably would be. So I think you're getting a lot of experience with him. I think that's the other thing with Vardy, right? That Vardy's shown us he can be our John Stones. He can actually be our John Stones that maybe defensively is better. Look, he won't be a cult hero like John Stones. That's fine. But defensively, he's better than John Stones. Going forward, yeah. But if I go back to Vardy, right? Over recent,
I don't know about that.
no, over recent month, probably over his whole time at City, pretty much. I would probably agree with you, but I think when he was playing centre back week in, week out, yeah, I think he probably is. I think Stones got better defensively when he started playing with Diaz, and Diaz was telling him where to be all the time. Because it was.
I think John Stones is a better centre half than Gavardio.
You think?
I think John Stones, if he stayed fit, I think he would have been better than Company. I think he would have been our greatest ever centre back.
Overall, hold on. Overall, as a centre back, yes, I'm meaning defensively, right? Overall, John Stones, I agree with you. I was on a show the other day on Never a Foul, and we were talking about England's centre backs, and I said, "Are we doing fit or are we doing like it? Don't matter whether they're fit or not." And they said, "Nah, whatever." Like I go, "Well, if we're talking fully fit, John Stones is England's best centre back, hands down." And everyone started going, "Nah, Stones is shit." And I was like, "Do you know what? I'm not even cool. Let's just move on in it." Like, if John Stones fully fit is an elite centre back, but I'm meaning defensively, I think Vardy's probably got the jump on him a little bit. Not recently. Recently, when he's been slotted in with, again, when he's been pairing up with people other than Diaz, I think Vardy's looked a bit shaky. But that's always been the issue at City, that most of our defensive pairings don't look that great unless Diaz is in there. Diaz seems to be the perfect complement, whether it be for Akanji.
Here's the thing. I don't think Diaz has been good now.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
For seasons, man.
Yeah. No, he hasn't. But I just feel with Diaz, it has to be a partnership. Like, but he hasn't. You're right, bro. The last 2 seasons, Diaz has been poor. It's one of those ones where when you're having debates with other fans, I'm like, I can't even defend Diaz at the moment. When people go, "Oh, Diaz really isn't all that," I'm like, hold on a second. We're not going to downplay his first 2 seasons at City ever. There's a reason why in his first season at City, he won fucking not City Player of the Season, not Defender of the Season. He won Premier League Player of the Season, his first season in the Premier League, yeah? Don't ever downplay that, right? But I agree with you. The last 2 seasons, it's been difficult trying to defend him. But
yeah, what I think about Diaz for me, though, bro.
I think what it is with Diaz, though, is I think at times this season, certainly, Diaz has been, without Stones, without Akanji, without the other people next to him, Diaz has, I feel like, by Pep, been asked to play a bit more further forward, right? Which he's not comfortable with. And like, even now, I remember on Wednesday the other day, he tried to spray a ball and it just went out. Like, that's not what I want to see from Ruben Diaz.
You know what else I think about Diaz, bro? I think Diaz is a defender that needs a partner. He needs a partnership. And what we've not had over the last 2 years because of injuries is he's constantly being changed. 1 minute it's Ake, next minute it's Stones, next minute it's Akanji, next minute it's Rico Lewis at right back, next minute it's this guy at right back, blah, blah. I think Diaz needs to be in a back four. Yeah, that treble year, brilliant. Why? Because the back four is basically the same. Sometimes he's played Akanji right back, sometimes it was Stones, Walker, but it was Stones and it was Ake at left back. He was in a back four that was solid. Never.
But that's not even on Diaz, though. Like, come on. Let's just go on. Let's just
a Pep system.
Over the years of the Premier League, I was too young to go back any further than Premier League years. But over the years of the Premier League, you look at Premier League winners, right? I'm not even going to say 9 times out of 10, 19 times out of 20. The whole defense pretty much only changes when it needs to change. Right? Like, you look at, it's always about partnerships. Whatever team, Ferdinand Vidic, Terry and the Italian fucker, can't remember his name. Even you look at Leicester, bro, look at Leicester's title winning team. Their defense didn't change.
Was it Huth? Robert Huth?
Yeah, yeah. And like it was who fan Morgan.
Oh, fucking hell, where's Morgan?
Yeah. Where's Morgan? Yeah, yeah.
It was Wes Morgan. That's
Yeah,
crazy, as if he
yeah,
was the
bro.
Premier
But
League.
it's mad, isn't it? But whenever you look at it, it's always
It is.
partnerships that win fucking leagues, right?
Yeah,
And
it
I
is,
do
it
agree with
is.
you with Diaz. Like, I think right. If you imagine,
That's madness. That one. That's elite. You know, credit.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't
yeah.
like crediting Liverpool a lot, but that Van Dijk and Kanate is evil.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? And that's why the one thing I always say to when the toxic and negative Arsenal fans try and say, yeah, look, Arteta, this season, no excuse. Pep's dropped off, Klopp's gone. The one thing I say in his defense is, yeah, but he's coming up. I get Liverpool's manager has changed, but he's coming up against the same spine of Alisson, Van Dijk, Kanate. Salah's still in there, Trent's still there. Like they've got a spine that's been there, won the Premier League, won the Champions League. Like the spine is not changing. That's the only thing. I think that's probably been one of the things that's frustrated me with Pep. And I won't even say this season, because it's always been a thing with Pep that sometimes he rotates the defense a bit too much for me. Like I just think, and do you know what? He knows right, because by rotating that defense, it got us a 4-peat, kept our players fit, and got us a treble, right? So I understand the reason for it. But when you do that, what I was going to say before is, if you imagine, right, when you're going forward, right, if one player drifts into the wrong position, then someone's called offside and you don't score a goal, right? So how many times in a game does that happen? A few times, yeah. Mm-hmm. So defensively, if as a unit you don't press up at the right time,
yeah,
what that happens. But the difference is, if you don't score a goal, you keep it moving, right? You concede a goal, you talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, it's always because you're not defending as a unit. Someone's not picking up the right player, because it's not always offsides. It can just be someone's not marking in the right zone. I mean, prime example, PSG, that. The free kick, when we made a substitution just before a free kick, and I was screaming before they took the free kick, why is no one marking my man? My man is in fucking yards of space. No one picked him up, right? Same with, I think, we've seen Rico on people on corners, Rico on Van Dijk in corners. Those type of things, if you've got a defensive unit that play week in, week out with each other, those simple mistakes don't get made, because someone's picking up on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So consistency in the back four is mad important, which this year we've not had because of all the injuries, but also players that are just good defenders. Now, this ain't no Rico slander, innit? But Rico is not a great defender. No. Yeah. Now, whether he's a midfielder or good on the ball, whatever, that's great. Yeah. And I'm not talking about that. Yeah. Maybe he's got them good attributes. I'm talking about out and out defending, the basics of defending. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so you've not got that at right back. He's played a lot this season. When Walker played there, unfortunately, he's just, he bit past it, And then, even when you've had Ake and Akanji at centre half, like the Brentford game for me was the one that wound me up because they're too passive. They're too passive. And this is why Huzanov's come in, and he's a breath of fresh fucking air, because he's on the front foot. He's an aggressor. You know what I mean? And he's got the pace, which we love, but he goes and wins the ball.
Bro, do you know the mad thing is? This sums up, and I knew it. I remember when we signed Kuzanov, I think we were in Paris, and I was doing my research on my phone, watching bare clips of him and going to everyone, listen, this Kuzanov looks mint, but trust me, he's going to get red cards. Do you know how much we appreciate that no bullshit from Kuzanov? That when Kuzanov gets his first red card, not one of City's fans will fucking moan. Not one of us will moan about when he gets a red card. Like, bro, if Kuzanov gets a yellow card in the first 5 minutes against Man United, I will not moan, right? Good. Fucking go through Garnacho, take Garnacho's fucking legs from under him so that he knows not to try it for the rest of the fucking game.
What's hilarious? And the chat will know this because we spoke about it at length when we were signing him. When we were signing him, the amount of people that I saw, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be in the comments section, talk about, I'm a bit worried about his aggression. And I was sat there
Well,
going,
that's what we
"Are you
fucking
mad?"
need.
I was like, that is literally what we've been fucking dying for this
No.
season. Is someone in that back line to go fucking bang?
Was it Centurion season when Otamendi got in Premier League Team of the Season? Right, Otamendi was our general. Yeah, was a fucking calamity that just went flying into people. Right, you need that sometimes, and what that does. Yeah, we talk about the atmosphere at the ground. Of course, there's other ways to create the atmosphere at the ground. But I'm telling you, if fucking 10 minutes into the game, or if the crowd goes a little bit flat, and you have a defender go fucking crunching in on someone, the whole atmosphere at that ground changes. The whole atmosphere. I think Kuzanov. I think the other thing with Kuzanov, right, that I think's helped is you can see it in his face. You can see it when he plays football. That guy, yeah, wants to be the best he can. And I have no doubt, yeah, 100%. That he's got that kind of Khabib mindset, yeah, where, and he will listen and respect people. And like, that's the thing with Stones that I loved when Diaz got here. I used to see Diaz pushing Stones into position, right? And Stones was cool with it because he was like, yeah, I'm a ball playing centre back. So, of course, I'm going to listen to this guy. Kuzanov looks to me like someone that, again, will listen to Diaz and listen to the players around him. I think Kuzanov, like, I'm sorry, the slander, it was nice to see on Sunday when we played Bournemouth. ITV actually did a little piece on Kuzanov saying, at last, because it's pissed me off when rivals have tried to slander him based on 5 minutes against Chelsea. Like, because he's been unreal. Look, last game he wasn't so good against Bournemouth. He looked a bit more shaky.
Yeah, because what I don't want to do is, I don't want to turn into a situation where we're saying he's playing good when he's not playing good.
Yeah, no.
I'm not about that. I'm about just giving my honest opinion. And I think that the media has treated this guy mad since he's been at City.
Yeah,
I completely agree. Against Bournemouth, I didn't think he was great.
No.
And
it was mad the one time the media actually, it's mad the one time the media actually singled him out before the game and said, yeah, you know what, Kuzanov. And then he went and had a bit of a stinker. But I think and it's not even like, the mad thing is, we've seen his pace. His pace is unbelievable. His reading of the game is absolutely insane. The amount of time, we used to talk about Walker being a insurance policy, I've already seen Kuzanov save our centre-back's arse a good 3-4 times, and not even on his side, on the other side of the fucking pitch. He's reading the game and going flying over there. But also, on the ball, he looks so comfortable. Like, he can spray a ball.
A lot better on the ball than I thought it was going to be. Because when I was watching him, I'm watching the crunching tackles, the fucking headers, and all that kind of shit. So I thought like we was getting a little bit of an old school defender, aggressive defender, Otamendi, basically.
Yeah.
And then when I seen him start getting on the ball, doing these passes, I was like, yo,
he's a ball. It's a
guy is a high potential player. Because he's already playing well at the moment, like he could start next season at centre back or whatever. That's fine, but imagine what he's going to be like in 4 or 5 years' time when he's got the experience of Premier League football. He's learned the tactics. He's learned about the English game. You know, his judgment's better. Because there's a thing as well, right? Yeah, like he wasn't great against Bournemouth, right? He made a couple of mistakes. He should have done better for me on the goal, but he's young. He's going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
he's not learning from them. And imagine what he's going to be like in 4 or 5 years' time.
One thing we've got to remember as well, he don't speak English. He's still learning English, so he's struggling a little bit to communicate. I saw a funny one the other day. It wasn't at City, where he's running with this other player, and they've kind of both ran diagonally towards the ball and shoulder barged into each other. Bounced off each other, and then obviously when you bounce off each other, you then go back into each other for a second time. And his reading of what was going to happen, as they're about to go into each other, shoulder to shoulder for the second time, he just stops and takes a step back, and the guy literally goes fucking flying that way, and then he just gets the ball. Now I think he's mint, man. I would like him, man. Tomorrow, I really, I don't think we will. That's my concern with Sunday. Is I want to see O'Reilly, Vardiol, Diaz, Kuzanov, right?
Yeah.
There's no chance we're going to see that, are we? Pep's going to.
Let me come to these super chats, and then we'll finish off the final part of the show with United, man. Jar LB says, "I swear Pep tells our defenders not to tackle." I remember when he first joined City, Pep, and there was like they kept on asking him about like, why don't you play his tackle? Why don't you play his tackle? And then like he was getting cooked a little bit, and then anyway, the rest is history. Went and when we won loads, so no one asked him about it anymore. But yeah, I remember in his first season, If you actually deep it, chat, yeah, you remember that first year we had Pep Guardiola. Pep took some fucking beatings in the press. I remember like putting Sky on after the game, and the pundits would be going mad, saying he thinks he can fucking come to England and do this, and he thinks he can do this and do that, and like they was cooking him. And every time we got beat, I remember we got cooked off Everton 4-0 at Goodison Park. He got roasted. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. And yeah, that was our mad year. And yeah, he got cooked a lot in that first year, but yeah, basically, Pep just owned them, didn't he, really? Shout out Ruston as well with a 10 months. Says, I think our last summer window is impacted by all the legal matters going on. The exhaustion caught up to them, and that's simply the result of it. I don't think so, Ruston. Yeah, listen, I respect your opinion in it, bro, but I disagree. I'll ask that's what he's here, yeah, but I don't think the legal matters had anything to do with our window. Let's get DAPS' opinion. Yo, bro, what do you think on this member chat? Well, in fact, let me not tell you because I don't want to influence you, but Ruston O'Neill, yeah, sends a member chat in. He says, I think our last summer window was impacted by all the legal matters going on. What do you reckon?
Right. If you look at ultimately, no.
I agree.
Something weird right. I don't really deep the ins and outs of PSR. The fact that I think, isn't it something like it's over a 3-year period, then it resets 3-year period? Or I don't really know all the rules like that, right? What I would say, so I don't know why, but if we look at last summer, it wasn't just City. Like everyone had a weird fucking transfer window last summer, and like. So if we're saying, I think City's was because of the charges, so, well, what's the reason for all the other clubs that had weird transfer windows last season? Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's down to that, bro. This club, yeah, because if that was this club think they're innocent, yeah? Like,
yeah,
there is no doubt in my mind. Look, are we innocent or not? I don't know. Does this club think we're innocent? Yes, they do, right? 100%. Otherwise, we would have got a settlement by now, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have spent 180 million in January.
Exactly.
In fact, no, fuck that. Yeah. Otherwise, we would not. Right. Let's be truthful with ourselves. Yeah. Manchester City, before the money, before the Premier Leagues, yeah, we were back in the day, 33,000. We were selling out a 45,000 capacity stadium, right? That's our fan base, yeah? We now have a global fan base, right? I know it from getting trains up for the games. I used to see a few City fans. Now, when I get the train up, I see the same few City fans, but then I see new faces that aren't English in City tops, and then I'll be speaking to random people that haven't even got City tops on. They're also going up to Manchester for the City game. We are an attraction. Why? Because we're in the Premier League and we're doing very well in the Premier League, right? Now, we've just invested fucking millions, yeah, in a new tier and hotels, right? If we're not going to stay in the Premier League, you get planning permission. If you weren't certain you were going to stay in the Premier League, you go, call for the planning permission. We're not going to use it yet, yeah? Because if we're going to get relegated, we ain't going to need a hotel. We ain't going to need a third tier. We ain't going to need this new shop. We ain't going to need any of that, yeah? Because for a couple of years now, the tourists are not going to be coming, right? The fact they move forward with that tells me this club think they're innocent and are confident. Otherwise, they would not have broke ground on that stadium, because that's not right. If we ultimately are found guilty and we've got a third tier that's empty and the hotel's always empty, that's not going to look good for our brand. They would not have risked doing all of this.
You know what it is? Yeah, I hear that, right? 100% I hear it. And I hear this argument all the time. I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, fucking, I don't know, man. I'm just like, yo, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't. It makes no sense, Daps. It makes no sense.
But same with the whole fucking transfer. Every club. No one. I think Brighton were the highest spending club in the Premier League, weren't they?
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah.
And that was and that probably realistically with Brighton now is because Brighton know whatever they invest on players, they'll probably sell them in a year's time and make profit on it. So that's probably why Brighton was the highest spending. It was weird. 100% last transfer window was weird, but it was not just weird for City. It was weird for everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, to answer the question, well, it's not.
I don't think so. I
don't think so. I don't think so personally, but who knows? Maybe it did, but I don't think.
Bro, I'm baffled at why we ain't heard nothing yet. But
well, apparently the club haven't heard anything either, innit? The club.
No, I don't think they. Bro, knowing football nowadays, if the club had heard something, it would have been leaked. Because some fucker in the club would have got it and but it seems to be taking a lot longer than like. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, maybe that's not a good sign. Maybe that means the jury is really like, well, we really don't know. But don't know, man. Just yeah.
Nah, big up to Frauder Daddy. He's just become a channel member. He also gifted 5 memberships on the channel, man. So big up to you, bro. Right, really appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate that 5 gifted. W's in the chat, man. W's in the chat. Right, we're gonna finish off the conversation, yeah. With a bit of United talk. Sunday. You said your back 4 that you want to see O'Reilly, Gvardiol, Diaz, and Huzanov. I completely agree. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, really, is it? I think he'll probably play Nunes right back, Gvardiol, Huzanov, and obviously Diaz at centre half, Gvardiol left back. Midfield. Has Gundogan played himself into the team? Because he was very good against Leicester. But it was
been good in the last 2 games. He's got a new trim, and all of a sudden he looks young again. Looks young in both ways.
Man. I think Nico Gonzalez for me at 6.
Yeah. Bro, the truth is, yeah.
Kev has to play.
When you see players left out, like Foden, like De Bruyne, like Bernardo Silva, I think straight away you start building the team around them. And by the way, I'm not saying what I would do, but I'm saying what Pep would do. I would probably say that KDB is going to start, Foden's going to start, and Bernardo's probably going to start. The mad thing is, right, is furthermore, Bernardo and Foden are always good against United. So, but I'm at a point now where I'm not doing the whole, oh yeah, you know what, they're usually good against United, so they're going to be good. For me, I think now more than ever, Foden needs to be taken out of the limelight, like for the good of the club and for the good of Foden. Like, I just think take him out of the limelight, bring him on as a sub here and there. But I wouldn't be... Bro, for me, Grealish deserves to start over Foden at this point. But I'm not Pep. Pep will probably start Foden. KDB... Bro, see, this is the thing with KDB. This is one of the reasons. Why is it? Why is it a terrible take on Foden? What I've just seen someone say terrible take on Foden, right? So me saying that right now with where Foden is, we should take him out of the limelight for the good of the club.
I don't think it's a terrible take.
This is a thing. Like I sometimes see when you do predicted lineups and you say you don't have KDB in it. Someone wrote the other day, what, does KDB not play for us anymore, right? I have been very clear. There will never be a day where anyone in this Manchester City team, pretty much, I will never say, get them out of my club, right? I will never say that certainly never about Foden, never about KDB, right? But are we not watching us play football, right? Can someone tell me, like... Are you not seeing how bad Foden is at the moment?
Nah,
like, come on, man.
No. It's not a terrible take, Alan, to say that Foden should be benched. Foden's been poor now for a while.
And let me be clear. I'm not one of these guys saying, get Foden out of our club. I'm not one of these guys saying Foden's fucking overhyped. I'm not. I want Foden to stay at this club. I want Foden to come good. But trying to play a player into form, yeah, when the whole team's not in form is not a good way. Now, Foden it's been announced at last that Foden is not in a good place, right? If you're not in a good place, you don't want to be going to work in a fucking as someone that's been in a bad place. I was grateful that I worked for a company that were in a good place and functioning well, right? If you're functioning bad, you don't want to be going into an office that's also functioning bad. Like it is a terrible season for everyone. I agree, but not everyone have we been told that they're in a bad place. We've been told Foden is in a bad place, right? So keep playing him in a fucking team that is not functioning well is crazy, right? And I'll be honest with KDB, like this is one of the reasons why I want KDB. I'm glad KDB is leaving at the end of the season. I hate watching KDB at the moment because it breaks my heart, right? It breaks my heart that he can't make basic passes. It breaks my heart that he can't drive with the ball anymore.
Would you not start him on Sunday then, KDB? I think you've got to start KDB on Sunday.
Bro, it's one of them ones where for me, right, and by the way, also, I don't think we can go and get rid of KDB, all the players that everyone wants to get rid of in one window. I don't think you can do that. So based on that, I would start one of KDB or Foden, right?
You have to start one of them at least, and I think you've got to start KDB.
I think I would also say with the announcement, I think we will see KDB because
I think you will.
I think you don't release an announcement.
I think you're going to see them both. I think you're going to see them both. I think Foden starts right wing.
Or Bernardo, right? Do you not? I think we might start Bernardo right wing.
No, I think Bernardo's going to. I think he's going to start Bernardo, Nico, and KDB in the midfield. I think he's going to start Mamouche up top, Foden on the right, and then he's going to choose between either Grealish, Doku, or Savio on the left-hand side. Probably Savio.
Yeah, I don't want Savio. Of the three, Savio would be... See, Savio's one that at the moment... I
like Savio left wing.
Oh, no, I like Savio, bro. I like Savio a lot, but I feel... And this goes to what Alan said, that because, Alan, you do have a valid point that the whole team has been bad this season, and I'm using the same thing with Savio, that whereas I think it's been difficult for Foden this season because Foden is not in a good place and currently the whole team's not functioning correctly and we're trying to play Foden back into form. I feel for Savio a bit because if we look at Mahrez as a prime example, Mahrez's first season at City was in a City team that was already functioning perfectly, right? Mm-hmm. So there was no pressure on him. Whereas with Savio, he's a 20-year-old. His first season, he's had more pressure on him to perform and get 100%. Goals. And I think that's impacted his decision-making at times because you see when he gets a goal or an assist for the next couple of games after that, you see his decision-making is back spot on. Once he doesn't get a goal or assist for a little while, all of a sudden his decision-making fucking because it's like, right, I need to get a goal or assist here. I think there's too much pressure on him. So with Savio, I think at the moment he's making a lot of mistakes and wrong decisions. He's still a very good player, and I think Savio's going to come good. But I would probably see. Right. I would like to see Grealish start, but
okay.
I don't feel like. But knowing that, I think Pep probably starts Bernardo, probably starts Foden, probably starts De Bruyne. If we then go, he probably starts Grealish. All of a sudden, we're going, fucking hell, what is it? Like, we're going back to, this was great 2 years ago, but it's the old guard again. I don't want to do that.
If it was me, I'd stick Foden on the wing, KDB in the 10, Nico Gonzalez in the 6, either Gundogan or Bernardo, for that extra little bit of solidity.
Yeah.
And I think I'd go Savio left wing.
Savio on the left. I see. I
go Savio left wing.
I'm just trying to think with United.
The problem, you want the honest truth, yeah? You want the honest truth is Doku's not been tearing up trees, Grealish has not been tearing up trees, and nor Savio.
Yeah.
It's not an easy decision. We're not picking the player based on who's the best.
No. You perform.
We're kind of picking on who's been the least worst. Like that's kind of what we're doing, where we're at with it. Like that's just the truth.
Don't you think? I feel like Doku. Right. I feel like if we're going to play De Bruyne, Foden, and Bernardo in this team, then I would go all right. Call Marmouche and Doku because they seem to have a good chemistry together. So that, and I think Doku deserves a start, man. I think Doku's been so good recently. I think. Time we start giving Doku his flowers a bit. I get there's still issues with Doku, 100%, but I don't know, man. I think Doku deserves a start.
Part of me is like, start Doku against Dallo, Mike. He'll fucking cook him.
Bro, he'll cook him. This is the thing we have to remember. Right. One thing that I really hated after the last derby, is we lost it. Fair enough. We lost it by doing what we fucking were doing most games that time and just bottling it, right? But I hated that following that game, a lot of people came with this narrative that Man United were good against us. Man United were shit against us for fucking 85 minutes, right? They had one or two counters. We got to remember they don't have Ahmad now as well, which Ahmad for me is probably United's best player for me. They ain't got him now. That's that threat gone. And also, United are in probably worse form than when we played them last time, I would say. So I would go with Doku. But if I'm being honest, I would, out of Foden, KDB, and Bernardo, I'd probably only play one of them, bro. I'd probably only play one of those three. But I know Pep will play. He'll probably play all three of them.
He'll probably play all three because all three of them were benched.
By the way, if Bournemouth second half, KDB and Gundogan were good. Yeah. So are we saying Gundogan's not playing, by the way? I guess he isn't because he's played the last two games.
I wouldn't play him because, and the reason I say I won't play him is because although I thought he was very good against Leicester, and for me he was the second best player on the pitch for us, he's 34. And can he replicate that performance 4 days later? And my view is no, he cannot.
Yeah, I agree with you. Two games. I think this is the key.
As a player or anything to do with his performance, it's about can he replicate that at 34 years old against a much better side away at Old Trafford 4 days later? I agree with you. I don't think he will be able to do that, and therefore I think he'll be a negative.
Yeah, he won't. I think, like I said earlier, when you look at it and you see that Foden didn't start against Leicester, you see KDB didn't start, you see Bernardo didn't start, you're kind of going, there's a reason why them lot didn't start. Gundogan's played the last two games. And to be fair, the one thing we have seen this season as well, like I think where it's a little bit harsh on Gundogan, because people have been critics of Gundogan this season. When we signed Gundogan and we all got excited in August, we thought Gundogan was coming in to be a bit part player. Gundogan's played a lot of games. And that if we're being honest about Kev, about Bernardo, about Gundogan, about any of our players that are over the age of 31, 32, they shouldn't be playing as regularly as they have been this season. And their form is suffered.
And you think to yourself, how different would this season have gone if Rodri didn't do his ACL?
Yeah. But
it's probably in a title race, bro.
Yeah, it's 100%, bro. Like one thing Steve always says, because on Foden is that would Foden be a different player this season if Rodri was back? And probably.
I think everyone is. I think we're a much better side. We're probably still in the Champions League. We're probably in a title race.
Even we talked about Diaz and partnerships. We know Diaz and fucking Rodri are close, right? Diaz has missed. Everyone's missed Rodri. Like, and furthermore, in the dressing room, we've missed Rodri. Like, he's a vocal person in our dressing room, right? Just go and watch any of the documentaries. You'll see it. Yeah, we've missed him so badly. And I again, when we talk about the club learning things this season, we as fans have, because when Rodri first got injured, I remember saying, that's fine. He's hardly played for us all season. We've won every game. It's fine, right? How fucking wrong was I? It's not fine.
Yeah, I think I knew it was mudded. I think I knew it was mudded at the time. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I'll put my hands up and say that.
No,
I think I knew that we was in trouble.
I was blind, bro. I was blind. I'm telling you, I was blind. But
but what it's done is also it's highlighted just how good a player Rodri is.
Yeah, I think if again we're doing there's a positive and negative. I think with it, I would hope that this has made us appreciate Rodri and would make us make sure that we manage players' game time a bit more moving forward. And I would hope that it means we get him fucking... Because just before he got injured, we were talking about contracts, weren't we, with him?
Yes.
We need to get that contract fucking sorted.
There was some rumours saying that he's going to sign it. So hopefully, he's going to sign it. But I think he's only got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, we must get it signed. I think the whole Ballon d'Or thing and the way Real Madrid were to him has helped us a lot, because I don't think he'll ever want to play for Real Madrid. So that's helped it. But we must get him signed to this club, because he means a lot. And you know what? I look forward to seeing him and Nico Gonzalez together. I do.
Me too. I really do as well. Because one of the things I said, when we signed Phillips, is I felt Pep wanted to play Phillips with Rodri, but obviously Phillips wasn't good enough. I'd love to see Rodri and Gonzalez in the same team, then either Foden or Wirtz in front of them next year. I think that's going to be super good to see, man.
Yeah. I see people talking on Paqueta. I think that boat sailed, don't you?
Boat sailed. I think he's guilty, bro. I'm going to be a real man.
Yeah, I do as well.
I think he's going to get guilty, mate.
Yeah, it looks that way as well. I think there's players that we probably, for the last 2 seasons, Paqueta, a lot of us have wanted him. Bruno Gomes, I think a lot of us.
Bruno,
I wanted Bruno so badly.
We
did.
He apparently was available for 100 million in the summer. And I know it's a lot of money, but he is a world-class football player that walked into our midfield and been fucking mega.
Bro, I've been screaming it for a year and a half, 2 years, how much I fucking wanted that guy.
But here's the thing, Daps, people need to realise we spent 40 million on Phillips and we spent 55 million on Nunes.
Yeah.
You could have bought Bruno G.
Well, this is a thing. You look at the money, and you do get the money. I do get it's a lot of money, but in hindsight, I don't know the economies of football, but if we had Bruno G this season, would we have challenged? Yeah, I think so. Would we have gone further in the Champions League? Yeah, I think so. I think he's worth every penny. And it's even the little things, like the passion. It's the way he's embracing the Newcastle fans and all of that. We need that. It's all important shit that we haven't got in. Bro, how much was fucking Nunes?
55 million.
Oh, come on, man. What, an extra 45 for Bruno G? Yeah, all day long. And some. And now, I'll be honest, bro, I'd take Tonali in a heartbeat as well. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Did you know that he was 24 years old?
Yeah, I knew he was young. Yeah.
Bro, I thought the guy was 30.
Yeah, he looks older. But he looks a bit like... Remember when Ruben Diaz arrived at us? He looked older than he was. Thinking Ruben Diaz looked like 25 or something when he was 21. But I think Tonali's mint, man. I think Tonali's mint. Either of them. But,
I like him as well.
But now both of those, we ain't getting neither of them. They ain't going nowhere for a while. But
the Brown Neves situation, man. He's a fucking baller as well.
Yeah.
The guy got PSG from Benfica.
Yeah. He's baller.
For me, I think we need another midfielder, mate. I think we need another.
We do.
We need another.
We have to, because, right. If you look at players that probably should, if we had the right squad at the moment, players that should probably leave in the summer, KDB, Gundogan,
Kovacic,
Bernardo Silva, and Kovacic, right? And by the way, I'm just doing that based on their age and their game time over the next 2 seasons. Let's say next 2 seasons, right? We need to replace. You can't get rid of 4 experienced members of your squad that are all fucking midfielders in one window, right? That is suicide, yeah? So even if we're not we have to think the next 5 years. We have to get some more midfielders in. But that's where I think what we did that's why I think the January window was so important, that we did what we could in January to make this summer a bit more easier, because we got players that were easy to get, because we need to go and get some serious midfielders. Our midfield.
What do you make of these? Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, but I'm not actively. I go on there occasionally.
What have you made of these Camavinga rumours that have been circulating?
Yeah, I mean.
No, I don't think we've had any proper major sources on it, but there's been quite a few of them.
I think we've probably inquired. I think he probably would like a move. I reckon his agent probably would like him to get a move. But they've been playing him out of position a bit, haven't they?
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain they've been, because of injuries. I think they've played Camavinga sometimes as maybe even centre back, haven't they?
Let's have a look. I'll bring it up. Right, so this is this season, right? So he's played Played in 29 games, 1,600 minutes, that looks seriously low.
Yeah, 15 looks very low.
Has he been subbed off? Let's have a look. So he's had a few. Oh, fuck's sake, he's had a few injuries. God's sake, man. Go back on. Right, so
Yeah, played left back. Yeah. I think he has played in a few positions because of injuries.
what the hell is going on here? Being hacked, bro. Right, here we go. Right, so yeah, subbed off, subbed on, subbed on, subbed off, subbed on, subbed off, subbed off.
Yeah.
So he gets subbed off a lot, doesn't he? He had a few injuries here, subbed off, couple more injuries, and then 10 minutes, 17, 31, 11.
Bro, I'm telling you, if we could secure Wirtz, Camavinga, Cambiasso.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see it, man. Sorry, guys. I thought it was zoomed in. Yeah, I mean, mate, the minutes suggest that it gives reason as to what's his contract. Fucking hell, that's going to cost a lot, innit?
Yeah, it won't be cheap. It won't be cheap. That's the thing. The thing with that's the only thing, bro. With the players we're looking at, like I just said there, if we could get Wirtz, Camavinga, Cambiasso, right? I've only said 3 players, and we probably think we need more than 3 players.
Yeah,
those 3 there, you're looking at probably close to 2. Right, Wirtz. What we saying? Wirtz, 100 million. I'm pretty certain.
I reckon 100 million.
Right, so 100 million for Wirtz. Camavinga is not going to be any less than 60. I'd probably say be more than that.
I've got that close, 80 minimum.
Right, yeah. I was going to say 70. So, yeah. So that's 170. Then if we want Cambiasso, well, I'm pretty certain in January, Cambiasso was like 65 or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, I reckon that'll be about 55, Cambiasso.
Right. So we're looking at probably, for those 3 players, we're looking at probably about 230, 240 million just for those 3.
Yeah.
We have to, however much we want to say, yeah, fuck it, it's a rebuild, we need to go out and spend. We have to be realistic. We can't go and splash 400 million in a transfer window.
No,
can we? Or can we?
So I said at the start of January, before we signed anyone, I think we need to spend £500 million on this squad. Now, we've done 175. Yeah. Those 3 players that you just said then, that takes us 230. Yeah. So what we got there?
Yeah, those 3 players. Do you think that would be right? Do you think those 3 would be enough? Because the problem is, right, if we're being real, yeah.
Well, if Edison stays in that, obviously, he's saying Edison stays.
But see, this is the thing that we're talking about getting Cambiasso. If we're talking about getting Cambiasso, Wirtz, and Camavinga, right? That's 3 players, right? Yeah. Well, De Bruyne's going.
Yeah.
So ultimately, Bernardo, let's say one more midfielder goes, right? They'd be replaced by Camavinga.
Yeah.
And then if we get rid of a defender, because the problem is I don't see really where we get much money. Like the players that we're looking at going, De Bruyne we're getting no money for.
Yeah, we're not selling anyone and getting.
Nah, like we spoke about Akanji. What 30 million, maybe 40 million at a push we'd get for Akanji. I don't know if we would get 40. I think he's probably based on some prices, but I think 30 max. We have to be realistic here that we can't just go out and buy that. We can't spend that much on 3 players, and this is where someone made a point the other day on a show that maybe this is where our new sporting director has some gems that we don't know about. Maybe some Portuguese gems.
I think it looks bad on the surface, but if you was to sell Akanji for 25-30 mil, that's straight profit. You sell Edison 30 mil, that's straight profit. Yeah. McAtee goes 25 mil. You're up to 75 mil straight away.
Did you say 25 you reckon we'll get for McAtee?
He's only got a year left on his deal, hasn't he?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be able to get like 40 million like we did for Palmer. I don't think it's as good as Palmer. So I reckon you might get 20-25 million from McAtee.
Yeah, probably. I think, are you at the point where you think, because McAtee's, you know what, McAtee's been getting bits of game time here and there, but are you?
I think he's ready to take the step.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
Regular football.
I think he is. I think
I would have liked him to have had more opportunities this season. I think there has been plenty of occasions where he should have had more opportunities.
But do you have that much faith in him though? Because by the way, I'm a McAtee fan, but
I think he should have been. Do you know earlier in the season, Daps, when Foden and De Bruyne were both injured? It was like September or October time. They were both injured.
Yeah.
I think that was the time to throw McAtee in and say, right, we've got no creative players in the team. You're our creative player. Get in there and try. I think we should have put him in and said, you've got 5, 6, 7 games. You're going to play them all because both of these guys are injured. This is your opportunity. And he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. And I think when he has had the opportunities, I don't really think he's taken them. So, yeah, I think it's time for him to move on.
I think
I'm a big McAtee fan as well.
Do you know what? It's like, if I'm being honest, if I were on Rico Lewis quickly, I'm a fan of Rico Lewis in midfield, right? Whenever
in the squad.
Yeah, 100%. I would keep him in the squad. I think we will because he's homegrown as well. And he is still young. We have to remember Rico, when we talk about young, Rico Lewis is what, 2 or 3 years younger than McAtee, right?
Yeah, I think he's like 19, no?
Maybe turned 20 now. He's still young, right?
Yeah, and, still much younger.
And, you know, the same thing as when we're speaking on any other player. Yes, Rico has had some stinkers this season, but we've been shit this season, right? And I will always say, no matter where people think Rico Lewis's best position is, Rico Lewis is a midfielder, right? He's not a defender. Never has been. Just watch Rico Lewis. Go back to any of the games. Remember when Rico Lewis in the back end of the Champions League group stages used to start for us, right?
Yeah.
Go and watch him. Go and watch where his best game is. His best game is in an 8 role, right? It's a box to he's a box to box.
I remember for me, one of his best games that he ever played for us. We went to the Emirates, and I think it was the year Martinelli scored that deflected goal, and he played as an attacking midfielder. And
that's one, bro. Him in and around the box, yeah. He's cold, right?
Yeah.
His final third is where Rico Lewis shines, right? And that's where I will always say that. But, and this is a big but, is he good enough for City? However much of a Rico fan in that role I am, is he good enough for City to be in that role? Well, right now, if we're talking that role, we're kind of in and around the final third. Essentially, we're talking Wirtz, we're talking Foden, we're talking Marmoush. Rico Lewis is not good enough, right? But he's a utility player.
I'd keep him around the squad.
Yeah, but if he's done a job for us, in the treble and in the four-peat season, right? When the rest of the team's functioning, as he matures and turns 22, 23, can he still do a job? Of course he can.
Well, this is for me why I wouldn't get rid of Rico Lewis, because he is not the priority. Next summer or the summer after, if he's still not developed or whatever, and we've sorted our wingers out, we've sorted everything out, and everything's chilling, and you look at that and go, you know what, we could do better than that. Yeah, by all accounts, move him on. But we need to deal with Gundogan. We need to deal with Bernardo. We need to sort our wingers out. We need a right back. We need a left back. We need a centre half. We need to sort out potentially 3 goalkeepers. The last thing we want to be doing is getting rid of Rico Lewis.
On the goalkeeper thing,
bro, it's the truth, man.
Yeah.
I think Ortega's defo gone. I think he knows he ain't getting that number 1 spot.
Well, and do you know the mad thing on Ortega, is when Ortega for 2, how many seasons has been? It's 2, isn't it? Same as Haaland, yes. So this is his 3rd season. For 2 seasons, Ortega's been mint, right?
Yeah.
And this is where it does sum up this season, right? That we were in a bad place this season when even at our worst, Ortega started to look shit. And you're going, fucking hell, man. This, like, the confidence when because the one thing is with the outfield players and the goalkeeper, usually the goalkeeper can be kept separate, right?
Yeah.
But when you're seeing your goalkeeper starting to have stinkers, that ultimately Ortega's usually been able to come in and just hit the ground running and been mint. But this season, when he's been given chances, he actually has started to look a bit dodgy.
Been great.
Yeah, he's not been great.
I put out a tweet about 3 months ago, because Tolme put out a tweet and said, if Ederson goes, I'm chilling with Ortega as number 1. And I quote tweeted it and said, I completely disagree. I don't think he's good enough. And I got hooked off some people. Some people was roasting me. Yeah. And then the next month, Ortega played like 2 or 3 games and he was crap. The Brentford game Yeah, we drew 2-2. He should have been saving at least one of them. Yeah, his distribution was all over the gaff. But listen, we signed him on a free transfer. We're probably going to get decent money for us. But the problem that we've got is if he leaves and Edison leaves and Carson leaves, which is all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
not
And
an
that is all,
extreme
bro. That's
situation.
no. Right, bro. Carson,
That
yeah.
happened.
Let's be real, right? Carson is Edison's best friend. Yeah, Carson has stayed for squad harmony, and he's part of the squad. Now, one thing, a bit of inside information I do know is the camaraderie around the club. You know, the people that make the dressing room tick. You know, Brandon as an example. Also, a few other faces that are in and around the squad, but not football players. Right? They're no longer part of the City group anymore. Right? They've been pushed out a bit because they were getting too close to players. Now, if that's happened to them, if Edison goes, Carson's gone. Like I'm telling you now, like Carson, if Edison goes, Carson's gone. I would not be surprised if somehow Edison secures Carson a fucking contract in Saudi Arabia with him, right? No, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. And so if those two go, I don't know if you would keep, this is the thing. If Eddie goes, I'd want to keep Ortega as a backup, right? However, I don't believe Ortega would be cool with that. I think now Ortega would be all right. I am where I am to Eddie. That's fine. But if Edison goes and you still keep me as backup, that's kind of telling me.
Yeah, no. I just to clarify, whilst I don't think Ortega's good enough to be number one for City, that's because we're Man City. I think Ortega 100% walks in as a number one goalkeeper. 90%.
I'll still keep him. I don't think Eddie's been that bad.
So I would love to keep Ortega as a number two. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's good enough to be number one. Having said that, could he go and be number one for Dortmund, Leverkusen, someone in Germany, a decent, solid team, Frankfurt, a solid team that's trying to get 100%.
Do you know, this is where it's very important. You said it earlier on about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but you said that you don't just want to always rate our players no matter what, right? You want to be real with it.
Just be honest, yeah.
And if we've been right, this is a difference. If you ask Liverpool fans, if what's his name goes, if Alisson goes, is who's their second? Right, is he good enough to be your second, your number one keeper? Now they will probably go, yeah, of course he is. He's mint. He'd get in most Premier League teams. The truth is, he wouldn't. Right, that's why he's second. Yeah. Same with Ortega. We've seen it. When you actually see someone get a run in the first team, you see it. Same with prime example, Iheanacho. Iheanacho was great off the bench. The minute he started, he's fucking awful. Like,
here's the thing, though, and some people don't get this because I see it all the time. Being a number two goalkeeper is completely different to being a number one goalkeeper. Number one goalkeeper. You have to be there every single game. Concentration has to be on point. It is a mentally draining, fatiguing job because you're there every game and you have to be so dialed in all season for 38 games a season.
Yeah.
Number two, you know you're not playing most of the time, so you can chill. And then when you know you're playing, Pep will probably tell you 3 days before the game, FA Cup this weekend, you're in the team. And then, right, I'd lock in. And then you're locking in for one game. It's completely different to being a number one goalkeeper. And I know some people disagree with me on it, but I will stand firm on on that opinion that being a number two is a completely different job to being a number one. And I know some people disagree with me, but that's my opinion, and I will never change my opinion on that. I think it's 100% legit opinion.
That's something I've heard as well, actually. I have heard that Eddie's gone.
Oh, of course he's got. Again,
because the one thing,
connect the dots, man. Like at the end of the day,
the thing is, I didn't see many rumors. Like when people were saying Eddie's going, I don't remember seeing. Like I feel like it was all based on last summer. No.
Oh, this summer. No, there's not been anything this summer.
Right, but I have been told by somebody that knew somebody at the club that like Edison, the club's already been told like it's done. It's done. He's gone.
Bro,
he's gone.
Again, you know what you have to do, DAPS, yeah? You have to connect the dots. He wanted to leave last summer to go Saudi. Fair enough. They offered him like 300, 400 grand a week, tax-free. Understand, right? He's then stayed. If he was going to stay, he's only 32, which is mad. You're 31. He's only 31 years old.
Yeah, for keepers young.
City would have said, we want to keep you. Here's a 5-year contract, 300 grand a week. And he would have signed a contract within the first 3 or 4 months of the season. We're in April. He's now got 1 or 2 years left on his deal. He's still not signed a deal. Yeah. Connect the dots. The guy wants to leave.
I've been told that, like, yeah, he's told the club, I'm going. I'm going in the summer.
The fact is, he's been offered 400 grand a week tax-free in it from Saudi.
Yeah. Yeah.
And City might go up to 200, which is going to be taxed 50, 60% or whatever Keir Starmer wants these days. And he's probably going to get about 90 grand a week. He can quadruple his wage and go play in Saudi. Yeah. And the thing is, with all due respect as well, he's won it all at Manchester City. There's nothing. The only thing that I would say to him if I sat him down, and it's a bit of a dead thing, but it's kind of cool, is that if you stay at City for the next 5-6 years, you could probably overtake Alan Oakes as the all-time appearances.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool because you'll be in the history books then in 100, 200 years because no one will do that. But ultimately, this guy's from fucking Brazil. He probably don't give a shit.
This is the thing I've been having this conversation with Liverpool fans so much on Salah, right? And everyone always goes on about, no, he's still got ambition, right? And it makes me laugh a bit because, look, football to all of us is a very important game. We're not the footballers. To the footballers, I agree. Playing football, winning trophies is very important, right? However, as a man, ambition is not only football. Now, if in the football world, you have won every single trophy you can win, right? And with Ederson, we're talking about he's done trebles, he's done 4-peats. Only, I can't really think of anything that Ederson could do now if he stayed at City, because we're not going to do a 5-peat while Ederson's here, right? We've already done a treble. So there's nothing much more he can achieve at City, right? But more so, as a man, ambition is about securing your family forever. Ambition is about your family being in a country that's safe. Ambition is, and this is for the Salah thing, ambition definitely as a Muslim guy would be to be in a place that you're treated like a prince and that you can actually embrace your culture completely in, right? So, I agree with you. Ederson at this point, and especially with the season we've had and, you know, the shit that some of our fans have been giving these players, a lot of these older players now's heads could be turned like that because, you know, they're getting pelters off of our fan base.
DAPS, simple, If I was Ederson, I'd leave. Now, I don't want him to leave. I'd give him 300 grand a week and keep him at City because I think he's the perfect goalkeeper for us. Yeah. But if I'm being honest with you, chat, I put my hand on my heart and I'm not LB anymore. I'm Ederson. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. Because I've won everything. There's nothing left for me to win. I'm 31. I've done everything at City. I'm a City legend already. I don't need to do anything else. And I can go Saudi in the sun and get paid 300-400 grand a week, tax-free, and sit there for the next 5 years, just living their life. And I'll still be a City legend.
That's it, bro. And this is the thing, Again, you'll be... Right. Walker, Bernardo, Ederson. For me, those three could be three of Pep's best signings, right? Ederson, Bernardo Silva, and Kyle Walker. They all joined in the same summer, right? And that's it. You know, we saw the difference, right? You think the season before without those three, and from the minute we got them, right? All the trophies that those three contributed to. He'll be looking at Walker going, if you're a player that's from that generation at City, you're looking at the other players, the Walker one's a perfect one. You're looking at the drop-off. You're looking at the way the fan base, and with Ederson, more than any other player, the fan base's reaction is very important because we know Ederson's an emotional fucker.
Yeah.
Sorry, that wasn't me getting emotional. You know, Ederson is very emotional. Like, he cares about how the fans view him and whatever. So I think he'd be looking at the Walker thing, thinking, now's the right time for me to go. And I'm with you, bro. I worry about Ederson leaving because I think Ederson's so important to us. And whenever people talk about get this, you know, if we had this keeper, he would have saved the Havertz shot in the Champions League final. He would have done this. He would have done that. I'll stand strong that I don't believe we would be in a lot of the positions we were in without Ederson. But look, I think last summer, the club saw he wanted to go. So hopefully the club has spent the last 10, 11 months trying to find the right replacement. Because we have to credit them, they found Ederson.
Yeah, no, I never heard of that guy. I think they'll go for Costa at Porto or Chevalier.
Yeah. Do you know the Costa one is just it's a fucker because I won't claim to watch the Portuguese league. The only time I've seen him recently was against United, and he was fucking.
Yes, bro, same here, man. That's the only time I've ever watched him against
Yeah.
United, and he was shite. Wasn't
No,
he?
he was awful, man. He had an absolute stinker. It's making me go, fucking hell, do we really want him?
Yeah,
But-
that's the only game I've ever seen. I'm
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
the same as you.
Yeah,
Exactly the
he
same
was
as you. That's the
awful.
only
He
game
was
I've seen.
really, bro. I remember watching it going because at that point we hadn't really been linked with him. It was more other clubs, and I was watching it going, "Fucking hell, do we really want this guy?" I don't know if
Yeah,
we,
he's right.
you know.
Nah, it's crazy. Right, listen, I'm gonna.
Oh, by
wrap
the way,
it up, man.
Echeverri, what are you saying,
Bro, I'm telling you now, mate. Echeverri should be in this squad, 100%. Mate, he's a.
Has he
fucking
been on the
baller.
bench yet?
Nope. Soler,
Is he
who
allowed?
played left back.
Is he allowed to be on the bench?
Yeah, of course he is. Soler,
Right,
who
Edison.
played left back for Bournemouth against
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I
He
saw.
was in the,
Yeah,
he was
yeah, I
in the
know.
same tournament Echeverri was in. He played left back for Argentina.
Yeah,
And he was decent. Bro, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, like, what frustrates me about Echeverri is, right, because I stayed up till like fucking 2 a.m., 3 a.m. watching this guy in that Sudamericano tournament, yeah, is people keep on saying stuff like, oh, he's not ready, he can't compete, he can't get blah. No one fucking knows because he's not played.
yeah, yeah. See, this is my.
If we play him and then he's crap or he's not physical enough, Fez will be like, oh yeah, maybe he does need time. I think putting out statements saying stuff like he can't play because he's not ready or he needs to toughen up or this or that or whatever. It's like, you don't know that because you've
Yeah,
not
yeah,
seen him play for Man City yet. The
No,
fact is, this guy was player of the tournament at that under-20s South American tournament for Argentina. This guy was balling out. Goals, assists. He was taking players on left, right, and centre, left foot, right foot. The guy was terrorising people. Yeah.
Do you know what, bro? The thing is as well, I do hear it. Like we've played Vitor Hayes, so if we're willing to play Vitor Hayes, why would we not be willing to play?
Right, I promise you this: Vitor Hayes is less ready for the Premier League now than Echeverri is. Chat,
Yeah.
talk to
Bro,
chat, you know that's true.
bro, who's the English guy that covers Brazil? What's his name? He's on Talk Sport quite a bit.
Oh, I know you're on about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now. But he was speaking on Vitor Hayes and saying mint player needs to bulk up and probably get a bit stronger.
Echeverri is more ready for Premier League football than Vitor Hayes.
Yeah, I
100%.
so my whole thing with him and my probably why
Tim
I
Vickery.
would have liked that's it, Tim
Charles-
Vickery. Thank
Charles
you, Tim Vickery. Yeah. That's my thing with Echeverri, right? That I don't want people to think that I'm anti him and that don't think he's ready. It's not that at all, right? And personally, it's one of them ones where there's been times this season, since he, in fact, not even this season, there's been times in the last 2 months where I think, what's the worst that could happen? Because at the moment, no one else is fucking making an impact on certain games. Bring this fucker on for the last 20 minutes and let's see if he makes an impact. Because if he does, what's the worst? We're not breaking Forest as an example, that game. We're not breaking them down, so get a fucker on that might.
Bro,
right?
I think as well, I think he's a low block destroyer.
That's the
I really
thing.
do.
It's someone that let's try something different because it looks like we could do with that. The one thing that I think at the moment where we are as a fan base is that it becomes an agenda and obsession that we must start in. And that's one with Oscar Bob as well, by the way. Like Oscar Bob has been out for a season. Yeah. He had he was in training and got set back, right? We can't fucking rush that guy. Yeah. If he's had a setback already, that's a warning, right? Chill and give him time. And with all of them, it is a bit like that. With Bob, probably more than Echeverri, to be honest with you. With Bob, I think we've got to be so careful with him and not put. And furthermore, what I said about Savio earlier, we can't start putting all this pressure on Bob because listen, Bob showed signs last season, and in the preseason, he looked absolutely mint for us. Yeah, but we can't put pressure on him like Oscar Bob is Messi. Yeah, right. He's still a young player.
Echeverry's messy, bro.
Well, but I just want.
I've got an Eche Messi in it.
I'm very confident Echeverry features. I think he'll start most games in the Club World Cup. I
hope so.
But I would like it to get. Look, this is where we didn't really speak on the United game much, but it is what it is. But this is where I would really like to see us win against United, get win against Crystal Palace, and all of a sudden make it start to look like, you know what, we're getting Champions League football. Then we can start to see Echeverry. We can start to see a bit more of Vitor Hayes. I think we're still a bit too nervous to start bringing in young players, because I think we're thinking, fucking hell, we've really got to make sure we get this Champions League football. I'd like to end the season seeing some of these players playing a bit more.
No, so would I. But at the same time, Pep's got to get this fucking top 5 boxed off, hasn't he? You know?
Yeah, we do have to, and this is a thing, we do have to. But there's a difference between, like, for me, Echeverry should be on the bench, because he does.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree.
Something different, and it should be do you know what? We're not going to start him yet, but okay, fine, don't start him. But if we're playing against a low block team and we're struggling to break him down, what is the worst that could happen by throwing him on for the last 20 minutes?
Well, yeah, no,
that's the thing with me. So
I'm with you 100%.
So what are we saying? Start him against United, yeah? Him and Bob. Him and Bob, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Him and Bob. And Vitor Hayes at the back with Kuzanov. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Nah, defo. Shout out to I think his name's Ethan, this guy. Shout out, man. I always see him on Instagram posting good shit, man. So big up to you, mate.
That would be mint if we do get that. We get remember Vinny's last 10 games for City, he was mint. And he scored the winner against Leicester. Captain us in an FA Cup final. De Bruyne hasn't scored a banger for quite some time. Old Trafford, top bins, captain us to the final, lift the trophy, and gets a send off like Vinny.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's what we need, isn't it? I've gone for 1-0 United. 1-0 City. Fucking KDB. That's what I'm going for.
I'm not going to give a prediction on this.
Fair enough.
I'm nervous about this one. So.
Yeah, me too. Yo, shout out Ethan. I think your name's Ethan, bro. So big up to you, man, for the super chat. Shout out Rustin as well, man. Big up for the super chat, bro. Listen, guys, make sure you're subscribed to Never a Foul in it. You know what I mean? The sort of non-City, just general channel that DAPS and Cass and that run. And then obviously we are South Stand. That's linked in the description as well. I've got a video coming out tomorrow with Saeed. That'll go up in the morning, early doors. So make sure you're checking that out, guys, tomorrow morning if you want some Derby Day sort of preview content. I've got a watch along on the second channel tomorrow, 5:30, Aston Villa versus Forest. That's a big stream as well. I kind of want Forest to win that. I can't lie.
I think that's you want Forest. Who is it? Forest
Villa.
Yeah, bro, it has to be a Forest win now. Like I've been saying this for a minute. Let's forget about if we go back to if we go back to
I agree.
January, we weren't saying third was not something we were talking about. Yeah, fuck third. Let Forest do what they're doing. We need Forest to take points out, because that's the problem at the moment. It's all these there's too many people hanging around these Champions League positions. Like Wednesday night, while we were playing, I'm busy looking at other teams, and fucking no one's doing us no favors. We need some of them to drop off. Because Villa are finding form, man. Villa are finding form.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. So yeah, I'll be back in Forest in that one. I'm more bothered about looking over my shoulder than looking forward, lads, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that'll be that. And then I might do some sort of show tomorrow night, man. I might do a little calling. I need to do a calling show, man. I keep saying I'm going to do them, but I just never get around to doing them, man. So I'll get on that at some point. And obviously the watch along on Sunday, man. So yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this stream, man, it's been a long one, 2 hours. Do me a favor, innit? Just smash that like button for me, man. It don't cost a penny. It really helps support the channel. Helps YouTube boost the sort of video out to other people, man. Like I say, it don't cost you anything, and it just shows me that you guys are enjoying the content and that. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Subscribe to We Are South Stand. Link in description. And for me and DAPS, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.